Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Chat Room with Max. Today we're going to be talking about something very touchy, very important, and very needful in our society today. So if you have children close by, I don't know. Should I tell you to ask them to watch or don't watch? I think let's have this conversation for parents alone today. So today the topic of today's show is oh no, not this one. Technician, what are you doing? Okay. What we're going to be talking about, ladies and gentlemen, today is very important. And the topic is gun violence. Gun violence. Are our children safe? Gun violence. Are our children safe? This is the topic for today. Gun violence. That's the GVN is for gun violence. We just had to word it this way so the algorithm does not catch us talking about this, if you know what I'm saying. So, welcome to today's show, and I hope you learn, and I hope we learn from you too. So, if this is your first time of watching Chatroom with Max, please do us a favor by hitting the notification tab, hitting the like button, and definitely please share the link so other people would learn from you too. Okay, thank you very much. So before I introduce everybody in the house today, I want to just do a quick house cleaning rules that we're used to. A quick one. Please do not forget to like where you're watching this from. Do not forget to subscribe to our channel. Do not forget to hit the notification tab. And lastly, do not forget to share. Okay, share because
Share, because there's love in sharing. Sharing is caring. Caring is kind. Kind is good. And I'm here live.
okay. Welcome, Sam Soft,
You don't
everybody.
introduce yourself.
If I let me just allow him introduce himself.
Ladies and
Both of you
gentlemen,
will just introduce yourselves, please. Go ahead. Introduce yourselves.
ladies and gentlemen, let the lady go first.
Mhm.
Oh, thank you. Hello, everybody. Welcome
The camera
again.
you're looking at is this other one.
Um, it's Livy's creation again, coming to you from Chatroom with Max.
All
Thank you
right.
for joining us. Please like, share, and do every other thing you said earlier.
Yes.
This is your one and only Olorogu, Sam
Mm,
Soft. I'm live here in this beautiful chat room.
mm.
You know how we do it. So I've been busy on the road for a while. I missed you guys. It's good to be back in chat room. And we are here on a hot topic.
Mm.
Stick, sit tight, fasten your seatbelt
Mm.
because we shall be cruising in an altitude of 1 million miles above the
He has
sea
started
level.
again. Let's just
But
take the next guest. Like, thank you very much for that long sermon. You made like you made like 10 people that were viewing right now
just
just
give their life to
left.
Christ.
Please come back. Come back.
Please
Yeah.
come back. Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, with no further ado, we want to introduce to you the one and only Stanley, everybody.
Hey, good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. How are you all doing?
Welcome, Stanley. We're good. We're
Doing so
good. How you
well.
doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me today. It's good to see everybody.
Yes. Good to see you too, sir. We have Healthy Jesse Chops watching all the way from Nigeria. She says, good evening, Mr. Max, watching from Nigeria. This is my
This is my first time.
Healthy Jesse Chops.
Is it
Don't
this is
let me
our
swear
first
for
time?
you.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching from home, do us just do justice to this channel by typing your comments, your questions. Just first of all, type your name. Let's know where you're watching from,
Yes.
and then as we continue with our conversations, please ask your questions, and we will definitely answer them. Okay. So, without wasting much time, Stanley, welcome to the show.
Thank
Welcome.
you.
You're welcome. Yes, sir. So, today the topic that we're talking about today is it's one that has been hitting the airwaves, and it's one that is really sad, very sad. It touched me when I saw it happen, and I was so annoyed because this is not the first time, this is not the second time, and this I don't think will be the last until things change. So the topic that we're talking about today is gun violence. Are our children in school safe?
Mm.
Are our children in school safe? So, if you know that you have a parent, or that you know someone who is a parent or who's planning on being a parent, share this link to them so they can join
Yes.
in and watch and learn from what we're talking about today. So, Stanley, you're welcome once again. Livy's Kitchen, Olivia, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Sam Sofsar, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Yes. So let's kick the ball rolling. Something very bad happened in one of the states in America, and it was so sad. You know, it was a high school. It was a high school, and this issue really traumatized a lot of people. I would want us to watch a short clip before we get the ball rolling, if that's okay with you guys. Elder Justin Chop says, my daddy, your baby is saying hi.
Hi, Jesse.
All right, they know themselves. So, okay. So, technician, can you please cue the video so we can watch this and learn from it. Let's go.
The Georgia school shooting, and we are learning much more now about what happened that morning. The alleged shooter's mom reportedly calling the school with a warning just a half hour before that shooting. And ABC's Faith Abube is in Winder, Georgia this morning. Good morning, Faith.
Yeah, good morning to you, Gio. Lots of questions this morning about whether the suspect's mother called the school with an ominous warning the morning of the shooting. This as we're also learning that the suspect allegedly shot 13 people in just over a minute. This morning, new details emerging about the suspect in the Georgia high school shooting from family members and a classmate about what they say happened the morning of the shooting. Cole Gray's aunt telling ABC News details first reported in the Washington Post that the 14-year-old's mother called a school counselor the morning of the shooting to warn them about an extreme emergency. The Post reporting that the suspect's mother texted her sister, saying she told the school counselor to go immediately and find her son to check on him. The 10-minute call apparently came at 9:50 a.m., according to the suspect's aunt, nearly a half hour before the suspect allegedly opened fire.
You don't think like the kid that sits next to you in class is just gonna like shoot up your school one day?
16-year-old Lila Sayarith says the suspect walked out of her class, minutes later appearing back at the classroom door trying to get back in. Barrow County Sheriff Judge Smith confirming the shooting lasted about a minute. According to authorities, 2 school resource officers then finding the suspect allegedly holding an AR-15 style rifle.
They ended the carnage at that distance. With what he had and what we had, it was a no-win situation.
Smith says local law enforcement agents quickly arrived at the scene thanks to an emergency alert system the county installed just 1 week earlier. That system, a badge given to each teacher with a button on it like this one. When pushed, it acts like GPS, pinpointing exactly where the emergency is happening in the building.
26 teachers hit that button. It's a school. It's not supposed to happen. It's supposed to be a safe place for kids.
And the sheriff says he's not aware of any alleged phone calls to the school warning them before the shooting. The school district declined to comment. In the meantime, though, the suspect was in court on Friday, but did not enter a plea. Janae?
Certainly raising even more questions. Faith, thank you.
All right. Okay, so you guys have heard what happened in that Georgia school shooting. May the souls of the people that lost their lives in that shooting rest in perfect peace. Amen. So let's take this comment before we begin. Victor says, hello, my people. Greetings. Longest time, Victor. Been a while. Okay, so Stanley, sir, I want to start with you today. Okay, because I know you have kids, school age kids. And I would want you to tell us, when you hear of events like this, how do you feel? When you hear of events happening like this in the U.S., how do you feel? How does that make you feel, sir?
Well, it's quite unfortunate that this kind of incident still happen in spite of the many outcries. Again, my heart go out to the families that are affected in this incident. This should not have happened. It makes it sends chills through the spine when you hear things like this. You think about your children, you think about the school safety, their classmates, what's going on in class, how the kids behaving, who is saying what and who's talking about what. it gives you really big concern, and you want to know how the behavioral patterns of the kids in class with your children are, so you can begin to raise awareness if necessary.
Mm.
A 14 years old AR-15, that's extreme.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
That's extreme. That's very extreme. Yeah,
Gee.
very, very extreme. I don't know what you're doing with an assault rifle at 14, and that you know how to shoot that gun. It's just crazy. I was talking to a friend of mine Friday, not yesterday, Friday, and I mentioned that I'm 50 now, and in my 50 years, I have still not been able to touch a real gun. I see it from a distance, so I don't know what it feels like, what it looks like. I'm not interested in it. I don't think I should handle it. But when you hear kids talk about guns and the different kinds and types that there are out there, you shrink where you're sitting or standing. And when you look deeper, you see that it's not far from the parents. I'm sure we'll talk about that as we go on in the conversation. But this was not necessary at all. Shouldn't have happened.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Stanley. So, Sam Softer, what comes to your mind when you hear or you see something like this happen? What comes to your mind? How do you feel? How does this make you feel?
It really gives me a lot of concern about the environment in general, the society we live in today. I know back in the days when we were growing up as children from Africa, when somebody have conflict, when we have conflict, we deal with it with our feet. We do it physically, not with a weapon. We don't even use knife, or sometimes they use bottle or stuff like that, but we usually use our hands. So, but today is because of the society. Society encourages this weapon. Let me use this word. I think they celebrate it. They like the word is because it's the right of all Americans to bear arms. So as it's your right to bear arms, at the same time, we need to be able to have control over these arms because of we don't want it in the wrong hands. Because when these weapons, especially the one this child allegedly used, it's what do you call assault rifle. That is for war, not for the school or the society, not for the society, not for even anywhere. Even the shotgun is not for school anyways. So, but that rifle, how did he get hold of it is one other concern. And the fact that he can easily, get hold of that kind of weapon, it is even more scary.
Oh God. Yeah.
That is even the reason why I'm moving, because for instance, apart from schools, they can go into the shopping mall and do the same thing. So it's not only the children, our kids I'm even concerned about. I'm even concerned about everyone walking on the street of the United States.
Yep.
We are just like walking and you can never tell.
Then
the person can just wake up and after they get the person and they will say, oh, mental illness. And then so if we have a lot of people with mental illness here, I think we should be able to control the weapons then, because weapons shouldn't be for everyone. It has to be people with the right mind to be able to manage it. Even when you have the right mind, sometimes you can have people can get angry easily and then use. I don't even like that weapon at all. A friend of mine always brag with his gun, and we always have a conflict.
Next time when you want to say a friend of mine, don't point at me. So people don't think it's me.
True.
It's not me.
I'm trying to have a weakness.
I'm not.
That's why I'm looking at you.
I don't know.
He always like brag with this, like, I want to get the other one. He know all the names of the guns.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to him, my friend, you have a son. He said, oh, I have a what do I say if I put it? I said, these children are very smart. They can decode your password.
Yeah.
So you need to be careful with this thing. It should be, why do you have it in the first place? You know, because in America, I don't even know why we should be carrying it, because we have law enforcement. It's like in Africa, I think that's when it's even you have an excuse to carry a gun, because in Africa, when you call police before they show up, things have happened. So that's when we can carry. But here in America, I don't see any reason why you should even carry the weapon or have it, because you call 911, 2 seconds. The people with the gun, they are there to protect you.
Yeah, more like 8 minutes.
8 minutes. You have increased it.
Not 2 seconds.
It's true though. But what I mean is, like, they come quick.
Yeah, they're fast. They respond fast.
Yeah, they respond fast.
Thank you very much, sir. Olivia,
Yes.
you got kids?
Yes, I do.
3 kids, actually.
Yes.
What comes to mind whenever you hear such a news? What comes to your mind? What, like, when you hear a news of, oh, there was a gunshot in so school, what comes to your mind immediately when you hear that news?
Fear.
Hmm.
I get worried.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go
I
ahead.
get really, really worried. Like right now, I'm afraid, because when things like this happens, it just makes you think that there's no place that is safe. I have a kid in high school, and every time I go to her school for anything at all, I see all these kids and in my head, I'm thinking, God forbid one of these kids have a gun on him. Before your classmates, even anything at all, small provocation. Things like this just bring like shake. I shake like physically, because I get worried. Like you said, I have kids that go to school, and I go to school.
Hmm.
I'm a student also. I worry for myself, because I'm worried I'm going to go to class one day and someone is going to have a screw loose on their head, and I'm not going to be able to return to my kids. Things like this worries me. Amen. But this society is becoming something. I mean, I know we're going to get to it, but my question, how old was that child? 14? How does he even know how to operate an assault rifle? How?
We will answer it. Thank you.
We're
getting there. We're getting there. So let's just answer this question. By the way, before we continue, right? Before we continue, please, everybody watching from home, thank you very much for your continued support. Thank you. Please do us well to share the link of where you're watching from. Please share the link of where you're watching from to your friends. Just go to WhatsApp and share. Don't forget to like where you're watching this from. Don't forget to subscribe to that channel. Do not forget to hit the notification tab. And lastly, do not forget to share, okay?
Share. There's love in sharing. So sharing is caring.
Why?
I got a weakness now. I got a weakness.
Okay. Now, she asked a valid question. How does a 14-year-old child know how to shoot or operate an assault rifle? How? Well, clearly, the answer is not far-fetched. I want to allow Stanley say a lot today. I have my answer, but Stanley, please, can you answer that question, please?
I don't have too much knowledge on this topic.
Okay. So let me.
What I can say is this: there are many. When you hear stories of children that their parents have collections at home, and it just doesn't end there. You hear of parents that take their kids with them to the shooting range, where they go to practice. That's where they learn from. Parents who think that it is fun, because if you ask any gun owner, that have collections, not just one, but the collection of guns. That why do you have so many? They tell you it's just for fun, you know. I just like to keep them. But you're not just buying them to put them on your bookshelf or your wall at home. You use them, don't you? Yeah, I go out to the shooting range to shoot with them. And they take their children with them. They talk to their children about these things. And these kids know about these weapons. And they practice with them. It's a scary thing, you know. They think it's for self-defense, or as they say, their right, Second Amendment, to bear arms. And then secondly, another place where these kids learn how to shoot these things is these video games that they watch. If you see the ones they have recently, from what I was, of course, this incident happened in my state, and there's been a bunch of reports about it, that the video games that are out there, these assault games where guns is what they use mostly, that if you see the ones that are out there, you'll be scared. What you thought was war combat, Mortal Kombat movies or video games that they had those days, the ones that are in now are nowhere compared. So these kids have access to these games. They see the guns at home. They practice with them. They go with their parents to the shooting range. They get this idea. And kids these days are smart. They are very fast at learning these things. And when they get this knowledge, they want to use them. And bear in mind that the games that they watch, the amount of violence and anger that is in it that triggers one to use the gun in the game is so similar to what is happening in real life. So, for example, you could be driving on the road and somebody, maybe unintentional, just cut in front of you. There goes the bullets rolling out. So these easy little triggers that these kids use, or these video games provide to these children, tells them in their mind that, oh, well, you know, somebody does anything to you, you get very angry, you can't fight for yourself, you are being bullied. The next thing is to figure out, oh, in that game, this and this and this happened, and this was how they sorted it out. They go for the gun and come to school with it. So it's outside these two major ones, other than peer pressure conversations between children in school. So my dad has the latest AR-10 or 20 or whatever it's called. You know, they talk about it in school. And, oh, have you tried it? How does it feel? It's crazy how this knowledge is passed daily.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Stanley.
He said something that, you know, that took me back to a conversation between me and my friend that owned a gun. Not even one, I think he has two guns. Every time he has an issue with someone, everything that comes to his mouth first is, I will tell them, do you know the kind of gun I have? And I said to him, I said, you see, gun has a spirit. He has a spirit because you have
he does.
The first thing that comes to his mind is his gun. When somebody is making him offend him. There was a day he even told me, oh, there was a time somebody was owing him money, and he went to the person, and then when the person was trying to run him over with his car, he pulled out the gun and faced the person, but he did not shoot. The person stopped. So police came and they handcuffed him. Say, one of our brothers, Nigerian police, I said, my brother, what are you doing with God? I said, you are not in this. This is not your ministry. And he said, pastor. And I said, you can't be carrying all this. He said, oh, I defend myself. I want to defend myself. I said, if you don't have that gun with you, before when you didn't have the gun, don't you have conversation with people? Don't you deal with people and address issues without showing them you have a gun or make a threat, stuff like that? I said, no, I wasn't threatening them. I was only trying to defend myself. I said, but if you don't have a gun, can't you also defend yourself just by, avoiding that incident? Because always, that thing is the spirit. The first thing that he thinks is he carries the gun and wants to use it but he doesn't usually use it though.
Yeah.
But then for the
He
fact
hasn't
that
used it
he
yet.
hasn't used it yet, but for the fact that he's always making the attempt to want to use it, I always tell him, I say, my brother, I'm afraid you might get yourself in a serious trouble with this gun thing. Try to, but there's no way I can convince him because he loved that gun. But because every time he talk, even when he's having a conversation with his people on Facebook, guess what? He's even arguing with them on Facebook, and he'll be telling them, describing his gun to them.
FBI is looking for.
He's behaving like he's. And guess what? This friend of mine, I told him to. I said, my brother, I know you know your temperament is not fit for you to be having a gun with kind of temperament you have. I know you. He has one kind of temper. Somebody with temper cannot manage gun because the gun is that it comes to his mind first before even thinking of addressing it amicably.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the spirit. That's why I don't even support anything about gun. I don't like it. Period.
Okay. For me, let me answer the question I asked both of you or three of you. When I hear cases like gunshots in schools, what comes to my mind is sadness. Sadness because kids now live like prisoners in schools. You know, there was a time I had a reason to go for a training in a school, in a high school actually. And when I saw the environment, I was like, my God, this just feels like prison. Because barricades everywhere, metal detectors, all those shebangs, all those things happening. And I'm like, na prison a day? Like, is this prison or is this supposed to be a school? You know, so when I hear of stories like that, I'm like, come on, it's as if there's no place that is safe anymore in this world.
Even the book they were studying is even enough stress to add more stress by thinking of somebody might bring a gun to school.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know, and now the question now is, who is actually to blame in this particular situation? Would you want to blame the government for years? There's a Second Amendment right. I have nothing to say with regards to that, but I think before you allow your child to hold a gun and begin to practice with a gun, and you take your child to the gun range to go and learn how to shoot, I believe that child should be at the age of 18, drinking age, because if your child cannot drink till he or she is a certain age, I believe there's a reason for that. So why should a child be able to operate a gun as with such magnitude without being evaluated or getting to that range?
Responsibility.
Most of the stories I've heard is, the child was bullied in school, and his response to bullying was to go carry his father's AR-15 or carry his father's gun and go spray some bullets in school. You know, now also with my question now, are the parents to blame in this particular case?
Yes, the parents have a part to play.
Yes,
government have, but guess what? If the parents, because like every one of us have to take responsibility of our own children, because and not allow the government to help us. What do you call it? Train our children for us, and dictate how you should train a child, because it comes back to bite you too. Because I think with the story we just heard, allegedly, was he arrested, the father?
No, the mother actually said, I called the teacher to tell the teacher there is something off with my child. You know, there is something off with my child. They should check on my child. Now they are saying they did not have any record of her calling the teacher. You know, they said they don't have any record of that woman calling the teacher. So I guess she's trying to cover herself, because in most cases as such, the parents of the child would get arrested. There was a case where the child went to shoot and all that. The parent of that child got sentenced also.
Because the child used their
weapon. The father of this boy was arrested here.
Yes,
I think
yes,
so,
he was. But let's just technician, can you just cue play the news again so we can watch it again, okay? Let's go.
Georgia school shooting, and we are learning much more now about what happened that morning. The alleged shooter's mom reportedly calling the school with a warning just a half hour before that shooting. And ABC's Faith Abube is in Winder, Georgia this morning. Good morning, Faith.
Yeah, good morning to you, Gio. Lots of
so
questions.
let's hold off here for now, and let's talk about this for a little bit. Half an hour before the shooting, allegedly, she called the school to tell the school about her
Why did
child.
you
Right?
wait?
In the first place, you are the mother. You should know when something is off with your child. You should know when there's a problem from your child's presentation.
Yeah.
I'm not blaming the mother, neither am I blaming the father. I'm not blaming anybody. But if she could call the school half an hour before the shooting, it means
dropped
there
the
was
child?
something. Good question. The child
Yeah,
is 14.
why
The child
did you
might have
let
taken
the
a
child
bus.
left?
The child
Then
might
you-
have taken a
you
bus.
let the child go.
But let's continue. Let's continue and let's hear exactly what she did. Play it.
This morning about whether the suspect's mother called the school with an ominous warning the morning of the shooting. This as we're also learning that the suspect allegedly shot 13 people in just over a minute.
13.
This
Over a
morning,
minute.
new details emerging about the suspect in the Georgia high school shooting from family members and a classmate about what they say happened the morning of the shooting. Cole Gray's aunt telling ABC News details first reported in the Washington Post that the 14-year-old's mother called a school counselor the morning of the shooting to warn them about an extreme emergency. The Post reporting that the suspect's mother texted her sister, saying she told the school counselor to go immediately and find her son to check on him. The 10-minute call apparently came at 9:50 a.m., according to the suspect's aunt, nearly a half hour before the suspect allegedly opened fire.
You don't think like the kid that sits next to you in class is just gonna like shoot up your school one day?
16-year-old Lila Sayarith says the suspect walked out of her class, minutes later appearing back at the classroom door trying to get back in. Barrow County Sheriff Judge Smith confirming the shooting lasted about a minute. According to authorities, 2 school resource officers then finding the suspect allegedly holding an AR-15 style rifle.
They ended the carnage at that distance. With what he had and what we had, it was a no-win situation.
Smith says local law enforcement agents quickly arrived at the scene thanks to an emergency alert system the county installed just 1 week earlier. That system, a badge given to each teacher with a button on it like this one. When pushed, it acts like GPS, pinpointing exactly where the emergency is happening in the building.
26 teachers hit that button. It's a school. It's not supposed to happen. It's supposed to be a safe place for kids.
Supposed to be a safe place for kids.
You heard what he said before. He said that the police officer, with their response, they were careful because what he had is bigger than what they have.
So the thing is this, right? So if we're breaking this down, the mother called saying, "Go and check on my child."
Yeah.
Right? Why did she say, "Go and check on my child"? What did she notice for her to say, "Go and check on my child"?
So
Because
my question is that why did she wait when she knew something was wrong with the child?
My other question is, why did she not call the police to say something is up? I can't reach anybody in the school. Go and check on my child. Or call the police and say, "Go and check on my child," instead of calling. Because clearly, maybe she might have noticed that weapon was missing. Maybe, I'm not sure. I don't know. But probably that might have
I
been
think
it.
that, yeah.
Let's take some comments. We have comments that have been popping and we haven't read them yet. So let's take some comments before we continue. Healthy Jesse Chops says, Jacinta says, America, that is safe, that everybody is running to America. Now they are not safe. They have to be using God to protect themselves.
I don't know where you brought that one from.
It's true now.
She furthermore says, this kind of story is really scary because of the world that we're living in today. I feel that America is one of the best countries when it comes to protection and a free speech on all of that. But Legalizing gun ownership is not too good. Okay. Eugene says, welcome, sir. He says,
Welcome, sir.
good day, chat room with Max. Viewing from Nigeria. Very sad event indeed, which no doubt is prevalent in developed countries. Yeah, America majorly.
Yeah.
I blame the parents. That's Jacinta. She furthermore says, I think the mom is aware of what the son was about to do. Okay, so that was those are comments. So before we continue with our conversation, please do well to share, like, and subscribe to the channel. Okay, we're going to hear from one of the students who was also in the school when this happened. So let's hear her side and see how she actually feels about it. Let's go, technician.
13-year-old Bree Jones was the first student to lay eyes on Colt Gray, just moments before she says he began his deadly rampage.
Like, he knocked on the door. I went up, I saw him holding a bag and just pulling the gun out. I'm not sure what kind of bag was it, but I seen him pulling it out of a bag, and like, the gun was so big. Like,
Gray was her classmate, and their class the first he tried to enter, she tells CNN.
I always look out the door before I open it. It's just like, it's a habit my mom taught me.
But as her teacher instructed her to let him back in, she said,
I know he has a gun. If I would have opened the door, then like, he would have got every single one of us in that class. And I don't want me, my teacher, my friends in the class, and my other classmates, I don't want none of us to get hurt. So I just didn't go. Like, I thank God that I did not open that door.
Jones said Gray moved on to her sister's class down the hall.
Colt shot my teacher multiple times.
Malaysia Mitchell says she'll never be able to erase the image of her teacher, Richard Aspinwall, begging for help.
We had to drag our teacher's body,
wow,
fully into the classroom. We heard him take his last breath.
Mitchell says she felt powerless.
I've been trained what to do, like give CPR and other stuff, but I couldn't because I couldn't help him. So I ended up having a seizure.
So what is so annoying is this, right? This is what is so annoying right now. These are children. These are little kids. Kids that should be focusing on building their futures. Kids that should be more focused in life, trying to get the best out of life. And these are the stories we're hearing because of this sort of nonsense. Imagine how traumatizing it is for a child to witness such an event. Do you think that would ever leave this kid's head? No. And the bad thing is this, that trauma would live on to their children and their children's children. It's not that I'm cussing, no, but it's called transfer of trauma, because the parent will be so scared that they will tell their child the story of what happened, and their child will carry that story and be afraid, and also tell their children and their children's children what happened at some point. Is that fair to these kids? Is that really fair? So, ladies and gentlemen, I personally think that parents, children, first of all, school-age children, need to undergo some sort of psych evaluation with their parents. I'm sorry to all the parents who have school-age children, but yes, I think parents and their children need to undergo psych evaluation at the beginning of every term. Why? Because you have kids who are going through stuff in the house. You have kids who their parents are actually making their life even worse. You have parents who don't know better, who would allow their children learn how to shoot an assault rifle. Come on, what are they hunting for? Deer or dog or cat? I don't know. It's not.
You have to go to that hall. But I understand.
No, it's annoying, man. It's annoying.
It's frustrating.
It's frustrating. Now you're not just responsible for the well-being of your child alone, or you're not just responsible for your child alone, but you're responsible for other people's children who might come to school one day and begin to shoot guns that their parents have because their parents thought it was fun teaching the child, the small child, the young kid, how to shoot an assault rifle.
That is the reason why I am for that gun ban. I am for it. I support gun ban from the bottom of my heart. I don't care anybody say, oh, he's taking our right away from us. No, that gun ban should be imminent immediately, because there are people that their mental situation, we don't have control over the 100%.
No.
So
some people are mentally unstable.
So there's no way we can control that one. But the other one, the one we can control is the gun itself.
So you actually said something about people that some people that own guns. Unfortunately, some people with paranoia, with delusions, with excessive panic, anxiety disorders, are some kind of people that would love to own guns. Why? Because when you're paranoid that anybody will come and off you at any day, then you want to own a gun to protect yourself, even if it's not true. And the funny thing is this: if we all own a gun, I'm sorry, imagine Samsov owns a gun. Imagine Olivia owns a gun. Stanley owns a gun. I own a gun. And then we just hear one pow, and all of us just reach and point at each other. Before you know it, everybody's offing each other because we don't know where that sound is from.
Very, very dangerous.
So that's where we're heading to at this point. And it's just so annoying. Wild West, bro. And it's so annoying to see things like this happen. Your child was being bullied in school. I'm very, very sure. And teachers in school need to do better. Because the reports I'm hearing, I'm not blaming the teachers 100%, but teachers need to do better, because from the reports I'm hearing, kids come home, complain to the parents about a case of bullying. The parents contact the school about the same case of bullying. Oh, the teacher will say, oh, I didn't see it happen. Oh, it did not happen.
Yeah.
So that's where everybody has a piece of the blame pie to take, from parents majorly to the government and then the school. Believe you me, these kids, they speak among themselves. When you start to see, Max was just saying just now of teachers who parents contact and say, these issues are going on, my son or my daughter is reporting this, and they say, oh, well, we didn't see it. We cannot do anything until we see it happen, which is one very sad part of this country that if I have the power to change, I will change. America, when you give them a warning signal, they don't do nothing. They tell you it hasn't happened yet.
Dude, man.
It has not happened yet. We cannot do anything until
what is saying right now happened even in the Trump campaign. You see that guy that shot at the president? They told the people. They were telling the police officers,
somebody's on the roof. We got this someone with a gun.
Yeah. They ignored the thing.
Yeah.
Well, Stanley, please go ahead.
Go ahead.
So when the point where action is supposed to be taken is from when you begin to see the yellow flags, not even the red flags. Huh? When you see the yellow flag, when a child goes to the teacher and say, Umokoro is talking about his father's guns, that the father has this gun, and this gun. I don't feel comfortable about it. That's the point where the teacher is supposed to take action.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The fact that a kid is talking about different types of guns, it's not a fun conversation. Now, if that child, and believe you me, I don't care who agrees or who doesn't agree with me, in support of what Sam said earlier on, there is a spirit behind this thing. And when a child who his or her parents have access to these things gets into any scuffle with another child at school, or a teacher refuses them to whatever request they want, the next thing they think of is that piece of equipment at home. And they want to come back to use it to just drop the person or whoever it is that's not doing what they want. So the thing is, these parents, or it should be a part of the admission criteria to any school, part of the questions that should be asked. And I don't care who gets upset.
Do you want a gun?
I like this one that you're going.
Do you own a gun?
I like that one.
Do you own a gun? In fact, this is to the parents. If you are bringing your child to school, you fill out this form. Do you own a gun? Yes or no? If no, jump to question number 10B.
Is the gun registered?
If yes, is the gun registered? Was it bought by you? What type of gun is it?
Exactly.
Where is it saved?
You have to give every single detail. How many do you have?
Are they properly locked up?
Yeah.
Where are they kept? Do your children have access to it?
That's a good question. Do your children have access to it?
These are questions to be asked. If you don't want to provide, you think it's a violation of your rights, sorry, there's no place in the school for you. I'm sorry, that's where it has to get to. Because there are far too many of them. One just happened not too long ago.
Yo, man, it's
not been 2 months.
Yeah.
So these things need to be put. Look, freedom, right to bear arms and the rest of them. It's costly. What do you, like Sam said, it's a great point, and I'm going to use it in my next conversation with those folks that I have. America is a place where if you see something that's out of place, you pick up your phone, you call 911. In 2 minutes, maybe 5 at the most, there's a police officer there.
Exactly.
Why then do you need a gun?
It's good question.
If I see 2 people fighting with their hands, and I pick up the phone and call 911, I know they will be there in 2 to 5 minutes.
They will.
Why do they need to have a gun? Well, if I'm driving on the road and there's road rage, I pick up my phone and I call the police and say, license plate number so and so and so, and this other one are in the middle of the road fighting due to road rage. The police will be there to take care. Why do you need a gun? Then you may say, yeah, I needed to protect myself at home. If nobody has gun and a thief is trying to come to your house, they should be ready to put up their dukes.
And the thief will have gone. The thief will have gone. Well, I do understand, and I agree with some of what you're saying. I do. Should the Second Amendment be upheld? Looking at how it's going right now, I think there needs to be more scrutiny to people that own all these pieces, all these guns. Let's take some comments before we proceed, guys. So we have a comment from Jacinta. She says, I think the mom is aware of what the son was about to do. She furthermore says, if I may ask, was there no security to check guy at the gate before entering the school premises? There are some schools that actually have metal detectors. Yeah. Some schools do have them, and some people have, they just eyeball the kids.
What? That child, how did he get to school?
Well, he's 14. He could have taken the bus. He could have used an Uber.
So he was carrying the thing with him
in his backpack, like that girl said.
Again, this is what I was going to say earlier. Back to the mother. It feels like this woman purposely sent her child out of the house because she wants to avoid the trouble. Because when my son is going to school and I see his back bulky, my first question is, what do you have in there? Why is it so heavy? Open it. And then he has 2 slippers because when he's walking home, his feet hurts. Okay, now you can go. How you can't have AR-15 in your backpack and your mother
will not notice it.
Like,
so what?
There's something.
Well, again, the child is 14. When you have a 14-year-old boy going to school, do you always put eye on him and say, "Are you eating? Are you not eating?"
Of course, you should. He's only 14.
You should. It's your responsibility.
Do it with my 17-year-old.
You should. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
That child.
Yes, I still do it.
And let me talk. But this is it, right? Things happen. My own concern is this: how do we avoid things like this from happening? Because it is affecting children now, the vulnerable population. It's affecting the vulnerable population. Let's take this comment from Ray Pearl. Welcome, Ray Pearl. Ray Pearl says, whoever that gun is registered to should be held responsible and made to face the law for being reckless.
Yes.
If you want to have a gun, then be responsible and keep it away from your kids. I agree with that.
Any kind of weapon,
even if it is crack and shoot, shakabula.
I'm for Second Amendment, though, but the kind of gun that should be allowed is the one you just described. Shaka boom. You have to crack it.
You work hard
before you work very hard.
Oh, your child crack it.
They don't collect it out.
Daddy, help me.
Before you do crack, you shouldn't have grabbed it.
You work hard.
Exactly.
So now, let's take one more comment from Jacinta. She says, 14 is still a child, sir. Even my kids at their ages, I put my mouth in their mother.
Yes, so you have to put your mouth in their mother.
Okay, we're gonna go on a quick commercial break, and then we will come back and we'll continue with this conversation. Technician, show them the commercial break.
Field, they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, they're eating the pets of the people that live there. They're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, they're eating the pets of the people that live there.
Are you gonna name your dog Mr. Peter? And you chop sure you no get conscience, my brother. Ogbeni, wait to do turkey, wait to do chicken, wait to do cow leg. Why you go talk, say na cat you want the chop? My brother, leave that pussy alone. No.
They're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, they're eating the pets of the people that live there. They're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats.
Okay, thank you, technician. That was a commercial break.
Who did that song?
Okay, so let me just give him. Let me listen. That song was done by my producer E Piano. That's E
Piano.
E Piano. That's E Piano. Yeah, he's a great producer. He's a great producer. E Piano is good. Yeah, that's a full jam right there. So
is it free to be shared?
Oh yeah, of course. Of course, you can share it.
Yep.
You can share it. Yeah, I'll send it to you. So
send it to me.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so
Let's break
yes, release one of our powers.
Our attention.
Yeah, and Jacinta was just laughing. Okay, so welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. So we've come to the end of today's show, right? We've come to the end of today's show. But before we wrap it up, I would want everybody to give their 2 cents, one minute. How can What do you think is a good solution to this menace happening? What do you think is a good solution to this menace of gun violence happening? How can it be stopped? How can our kids be protected? Stanley, sir, take over.
Well, I think a total ban on assault rifles should be implemented ASAP, and a recall of all assault rifles from anybody who owns it should be implemented into law immediately. And they should approve only that revolver kind of gun if you ever need gun to protect yourself. Here's a solution to the American government. If you think that recalling guns is going to be hard for you to do, I propose that bullet manufacturing should be super highly regulated. Let it be shifted to the military. If you want to buy bullets for your automatic rifles or assault rifles, you go buy it from the military. And before you can get it, of course, you will have to go through several hoops and loops. If this is done, if you restrict the sale of bullets to these assault rifles, you will cut down these incidents by over 50%. If the military is the only one approved to sell any assault grade bullets, the assault rifles will be useless in the hands of those that own them. And I bet you within the next 5 years, you would not hear about this kind of things again. Maybe one or two here and there, but it should be highly regulated. With that, you can stop this kind of menace from going on. If not, if you leave this Amendment 2 or whatever they call it on, it's just only going to keep getting worse by the day.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Stanley. Thank you very much, sir. Let's before we ask the next question, before we ask the next person, Ngozi is in the house. She says limit and monitoring video games.
Yeah, that's another.
Okay.
That's another
Yeah,
problem.
yeah.
That one is.
I remember the video games we used to play then that had gun inside it. The gun was not that assault kind of rifle. It just pew, 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 pew. I don't kill you. You don't die. Pew, pew. But now it has gotten more sophisticated.
You will see blood.
You will see the blood. So okay. Jessica says no more gun in America. That's not possible. That's not. It's just like saying no more stealing of money in Nigeria. Let's keep. Ngozi says,
you don't collect.
Ngozi says, not sure it was mentioned. Reducing bullying our kids so they don't become bullies. Parents making themselves available and a safe place for their children to come and share what's in their mind. I love that one.
That one is, Max, 30 seconds, please. That one is very, very important.
Yes.
It skipped my mind in the course of the show. Please, parents, make that open ground where your kids can talk to you about any and everything that goes on in school. Yep. If you open that channel, you'll be able to pick up these signs. And when you get these signs, do not be afraid to walk up to the school and speak with the teacher. If they don't listen, speak with the principal. If they do not listen, go to the superintendent of the school district. And for every phone conversation or in-person conversation you have, always follow it up with an email sent to them about what you discussed, the concerns you raised, and the actions and plans that they agreed to take. With that, you keep a trail. With that, the teacher, for the sensible teachers, they'll be able to call the parents of the students that are being referenced and speak with them about the concerns that are being raised. Do not ignore any signs, pretty much.
Okay, thank you very much, Stanley. Thank you very much. So Ngozi furthermore says, they will never get rid of the Second Amendment, which is very true. They
just need to tweak it a little bit.
She furthermore says, we have to be wise and educate our kids early. We have to be wise and educate our kids early. So, Livy's Kitchen, what do you say with regards to this? How do you think this can stop, and what do you think should be done? Take it over.
Um, I think I can't really say how this will be stopped, but I think regulating the rules or making it harder, just like Mr. Stanley said, that will go a long way. But then again, to all parents, let's just do more for these children's sake. Because when something happened in school and your kids come and they tell you about it, the first thing we'll ask them is, did you tell your teacher? Is your teacher aware of it? This happened to me. My 9-year-old son at the time was called a black monkey by classmates. And I asked him if he told his teacher. He said, I did. But my teacher said, if it happens again, you should let them know. And that answer made me feel somehow, because, like, what do you mean if it happened again? Are they waiting for you to be called a monkey again? But I didn't say anything. And it happened again. He came back crying because the boy said actually said more worse thing than black monkey. The very next day, I was in that school talking to them, and they're saying, oh, other kids were not, no kids could corroborate the statement. You should see me there. I almost flipped that office over. What do you mean no kids corroborate? Things like this. Schools, they're now going to do everything for us. We need to do the most work. Let's have eyes on our kids and pray, because, like somebody commented, we have to ask God. We are praying to God to help us.
Yep.
America will not help us. America is making everything worse with these rights and
So just to add
all
to
these things.
that black monkey thing you said, someone literally, a parent was telling me that their child, someone in the child's school called the child a black monkey, told the teacher did nothing. The child came back, told the mother. The mother went back to the school just like you did, spoke with the teacher said, I didn't hear anything. Went to the principal said, call the child in, and asked the child, obviously who is Caucasian, asked the child, did you call this boy a black monkey? He said, no, I didn't call him a black monkey, I called him a black monkey. He's trying to change it from monkey to mohun. And well, that's what he ended up saying. And nothing was done. Nothing was done. So, yes, thank you very much for that one. Sam Seltzer.
What I would say is that, first of all, we as parents, we need to protect our children, because the government will not protect them for you. So first of all, protect your own children and teach them to be well behaved, and always communicate with them. And even if they don't have anything to say, they don't want to say something, figure out a way to get them to talk, because you have to be your children's friend. Make sure that you make it easy for them to be able to communicate with you.
Yep.
I'm talking to parents right now. So that's our parents' responsibility. Now, for the weapons, and for those of you that are teachers, you have to also look at these children as the way you are going to look at your children. And when you hear reports like that, don't take it lightly, because prevention is better than cure. Because you will end up regretting for a long time if some child come and have said something to you, and then you realize that this child is the one that came back and commit this particular thing that is devastating. I don't know how you're going to sleep. So that's my advice for you. And then for the government, we need to adjust. They need to adjust this assaulted weapon. That weapon is not for the public. It's not to be seen around the public. It's for war and we're not fighting any war inside America. So if you, that's why they should think about it. It's for the war. And why do you allow people to be able to lay hands on that kind of weapon? They should just ban it completely. And then if you also have to buy any weapon like the little one, after they ban that one first, the little one, they have to go through a lot of evaluation for them to be able to easily buy any weapon. Because it's very important just to control this thing, because that's what we can do.
Okay. Thank you very much, Simsoft. Jacinta says, my son's classmate broke his lunchbox, and the lunchbox was over $100. So all I could do was to send a message to the father and the mother of the boy to buy the lunchbox. And I told the school so I didn't deal with the child directly. I went to the family, and the father, the mother, and the mother was so angry. The mother was so angry, but they bought the lunchbox, so they understand what it means. How is Nigeria using dollar? Okay, that's not the point.
It's the person in Nigeria.
Yes.
Okay. My thing is this, right? I laugh.
Wait, can I say something? 30 seconds. Sorry.
30 seconds, you too.
Yes, please. It actually just came to my
Go
mind.
ahead.
All I want to say is, while we are talking about this gun and controlling it, and also, as I said earlier, as parents are monitoring their children, let's not lose focus on other ways than that these children can do other things. Kids are going to science class, learning how to make bombs and stuff. Again, let's not lose God, because if you take gun and they don't have gun, now they're trying to look for, where's mommy's pressure cooker? What can I do with it? Because they are learning it in school. So again, parents, I beg.
Let's
shine our eyes.
Okay.
Well, if you don't mind me asking, what school is that has bomb making in their curriculum?
Thank you.
For kids.
Thank you very much. That's a big question.
Oh, you want
Please,
me to
I don't know any school that will come and tell you this is how to make bomb.
If I'm a parent,
They're not telling them but they are learning how to make.
So they are trying to be creative on their own. Okay.
Kids will be
then kids go on
creative.
YouTube, and
that's where the teachers come in. You can't blame the parents for the child going to the lab in school to go and be experimenting on something else. That's where the teacher who is supervising them in the lab comes in.
Yeah.
You monitor the
curriculum. Is that in the curriculum?
No, it's not in the curriculum, my brother.
So,
Jessica says it was equivalent to $100. Any parent that will buy their child water bottle or lunch box for $100 should be evaluated.
Exactly. That's a costly lunch box.
$100 lunch box.
Lunch box?
What do they make it? What do they use
$100.
Is the lunchbox or is the lunchbox automatic? Does it feed you directly?
In Nigeria,
put in your hand in Nigeria.
Is this in Nigeria or here?
In fact, and what's the name of this agency? EFCC should go and catch that parent. In this economy, $100, and you're carrying $100 to go and pay for lunchbox. Which can afford? No, lunchbox. That is why you put other children in depression.
Wait, but please, I hope that after you spend $100 to buy the lunch box, you are not putting rice and dodo of 20 naira.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Come on, put rice and dodo. Even Gary.
That would be very bad. That would be very, very bad.
Wow.
Or you put cabin biscuit and granite inside. I don't mean no harm, though.
Rachel says, I say, make I no talk. And I said, Mr. Stanley, emotional damage. Because says it was bought online. No. Anywhere was bought from online in the sky.
It don't matter. $100 for what?
$100 for lunch box. Then how much will you buy cloth? The uniform that the child will go, you can't put gold button.
Seriously.
How much if the lunch box is $100? How much is the backpack?
Thank you, my brother.
Exactly.
That's why I say EFCC should look into that matter.
We're gonna evaluate.
They should follow Jacinta. Follow Jacinta to go and show you those parents. Yeah. Okay. Let's be serious.
She actually bought $100
lunchbox. And then Jacinta said she took $100 to go and give the parents. One lunchbox. It's me, I say, I'm sorry, they don't break up, they don't break up. There's nothing we can do about it. She says, what did she say? It was a complete package, sir. What? Oh,
She's the one that bought
the lunchbox. I see what she meant. The lunchbox comes with the lunchbox itself. It comes with unlimited food supply for the lifetime of that child. It also comes with a lunchbox shoe and a lunchbox book and an iPad for the lunchbox and a laptop and security that follow the lunchbox.
Don't forget the soap and water they used to clean.
Thank you.
Lifetime soap.
Lifetime soap to wash the lunchbox. No, automated washing device in the lunchbox.
Wait, maybe they don't want the food, like all these ones they are selling in Korea.
No, the lunchbox also have AI.
Exactly.
You have AI. Please, if I were you, I would stop typing. I'll stop typing. Okay. Let me be serious now. Let's go back to the topic of the day. I'm sorry. Sorry, people. You know, that's how we do it here. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. We do it like that.
So, people, my thing is this, right? This is my major concern. I don't really care about the parents. I don't care about the school. I don't care about everybody else. The person I care about is the child. Those children in that school. Those children that are just beginning to experience life and they are already learning how to defend themselves against a shooter. They're already learning how to do active shooter drills as children. They're already performing CPR because of what happened. Think about the mental state of that child, of those children in that school. Think about the mental state of other children in other schools that they haven't been shooting yet. Think about how they will feel. Think about those children that will have children, that forever they will be scared just seeing a school system. Now, my thing is this. Are the parents to blame? At this point, just like Stanley said, everybody has a part to play. Bullying was involved. Was anything done? Now, you also need to understand it's not everybody out there that is okay. Not everybody out there is okay. Mental illness is real. Anxiety, depression, psychosis, schizophrenia, all of this stuff is real. Do you know your child well? How well do you know your child? Let's even talk about that. How well do you know your child? As a parent out there, how well do you know your child? Do you know your child that well that if something is wrong, you can tell? Even if the child doesn't tell you. Do you know your child that well that if your child is already looking at schematics, looking at the building structure, looking at how to get into a place, you know that something is off because this is something new? I think parents need to be educated and psychoanalyzed. I think the kids in school needs to be educated and evaluated mentally. I also think the teachers also needs to be educated and also evaluated because clearly the teachers are also involved, even the principal, even the neighbors, everybody. Because parents, like everybody has said, you buy a gun, make sure your gun is safe. Please don't go teaching your child how to shoot an assault rifle, how to even shoot a gun before they get to a particular age. Yes, it's your right as a parent to own a gun.
Why is that even a hobby?
We'll do de facto this for in fact, let's take some comments and then we'll wrap up the show. Yep. Rachel says the lunchbox is actually called Stanley. Mr. Stanley, you have a question to answer.
Tell me where that company is. I need to sue them for exploitation.
Exploitation of your name.
Exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Jessica says we buy things online in dollar. It's actually cheaper when buying in dollar stores, because with naira it's higher. Okay, listen to her. Peace be still.
Tying herself the more.
You keep tying yourself.
Tying herself the more.
Because
don't say anything anymore.
I'll try not to say this. Now, all the men in the house. Next topic for next week Sunday. Let me ask all the men watching right now. All the men watching. Samson, you keep quiet with your this thing. Because I'm not Yabu first. All the men in the house. Imagine a woman that you knocked for only 15 minutes. Only 15 minutes. Just 15. Define knocking. Knocking is an act of doing something that you cannot say on social media. Now, you know it. You don't know it? Go and eat the dog and the cat. Now,
don't go eat the cat and don't go.
Now, imagine you knock for just 15 minutes as a man, and then the woman came out and tell you that she get belly. You are the father. You don't think you are the father. They carry you, go court because of back child support. And then they ended up jailing you. They ended up jailing you for 20 years. 20 years. They put you in jail for 20 years. Do you think that's a fair sentencing? Do you think it is right that you should be sentenced for 20 years?
And then come next week and hear if he was actually the father of the child.
He was the father.
He was, I don't want to say he was the father yet. Until you guys come next week, then we'll tell you he was the father.
Exactly.
But 15 minutes to go to jail for 20 years. It's not even 15 minutes and 20. If it was 20 minutes, we'll say, okay, then multiply.
No, I'm just saying 15 minutes is enough for him to be the father, not the jail. I don't know how the jail come in. I don't know. That's just too much.
Okay.
Come
next week. Come next week. Bring your friends. Bring your cousins. Bring your girlfriends. Yes, your girlfriends. Your girlfriends. That's very important. Girlfriends, because you never can tell. She might be planning to do the same to you. So, I'm sorry. Please, you people should not blame me. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been real. Thank you very much for being on chat room with Mex. It's wonderful. We'll see you next week. Technician, cue us out. Let's go.
Field, they're eating the dogs of the people that live there.
Are you gonna name your dog Mr. Peter? And you chop sure you no get conscience, my brother. Ogbeni wait to do turkey, wait to do chicken, wait to do cow leg. Why you go talk saying a cat you want the chop? My brother leave that pussy alone, no.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats.